And watch Bob Haung on your left with Hollow One against Aiden Brier on your right with the enemy in Dredge. Bob's going to cycle a Street Wraith and fall down to 18.
I think every deck in Legacy is the enemy, or in Modern rather is the enemy.
No, in Legacy too.
In Modern, sorry, I should correct that. Green-black cards, clearly a friend.
Yeah.
Friend of the show.
Yeah. Burning Inquiry going to be played here by Bob. Both players are going to draw 3 cards.
This is a fun card sped up.
Yeah, that's true. Discard 3 cards.
Just set this to some Benny Hill music.
Yeah. Let's see what Aiden's going to lose. Stinkweed Imp's going to go in the graveyard. Creeping Chill as well. Looks like maybe a Life from the Loam. Hollow One's a freebie here for Bob. So onto the battlefield first is Aiden is going to search up a Blood Crypt. And now dredge a Stinkweed Imp. Life from the Loam's among those cards. You see these players do like to separate their graveyards a little bit when they're playing Dredge. Someone like Aiden, who's been playing this deck for a little while. Life from the Loam's in one stack, irrelevant graveyard cards in the other, as Hollow One's going to come across here for 4.
Yeah, the stacks that I see are Dredgers in one pile, cards that are live in the graveyard but do not have Dredge, like Prize Amalgam, in a second pile, and then irrelevant cards in the third.
Creeping Chill comes rolling off the top there for Aiden. Conflagrate and Faithless Looting in the graveyard now as well. For Bob on the battlefield, it's that Hollow One that came down earlier and a Bloodghast. Been a hot minute since we've seen Hollow One.
It's true. I don't mind the deck right now. I mean, I think, you know, people are going pretty long on anti-graveyard measures. And Hollow One does, it's a mixture of you get to play with some of the, you know, busted graveyard openings without really caring that much about your graveyard being exiled.
Life from the Loam there from Aiden. Get a couple of lands back, among them a Wooded Foothills. It's a Goblin Lore here for Bob, so it's time to draw 4 and discard 3 at random. Looks like a Lightning Bolt and a Burning Inquiry among the cards that have been discarded there for Bob. And there's a Mountain. Get back Flamewake Phoenix. And now come in for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Aiden's going to sacrifice a fetch land. Go a little bit lower, down to 9. He's going to need to start doing something, folks, as he searches up a Stomping Ground. Now, he does have quite a few cards in hand, and there's a Conflagrate in the graveyard. Time to dredge 3. Stinkweed Imp, City of Brass, and Bloodghast among the cards that have been dredged. Bloodghast is going to come back. Aiden will sacrifice the Bloodstained Mire to get a basic mountain. Now here's Loam. Get back a couple of lands. And then is it time for Conflagrate is the question.
Seems to be the setup here. Especially if he was willing to take a point and fetch, you know. Brier's life total here coming a little precarious.
All right, let's blow them all up. Conflagrate will clear up the battlefield. Aiden Brier will pass turn back over to Bob. Bob going to play Faithless Looting. I guess this is another one of those Faithless Looting decks, right? I think we think of the Faithless Looting decks as Dredge and is it Phoenix right now? Forgetting that Hollow One is actually another one of them.
Yeah, but it's a Faithless Looting deck that if the graveyard isn't accessible for whatever reason, it's not that big of a deal. Mm-hmm. You're kind of diverse in the zones you're playing in. So now the question I have about Hollow One is it Phoenix is going to be the most popular deck, and that deck is playing with a bunch of Lightning Axes and Flame Slashes. A lot of the reason I think to play Hollow One is you play with these threats that are outside of Lightning Bolt range. And if the red decks start playing with more Lightning Axes and Flame Slashes, and your Gurmag Anglers and Hollow Ones are less reliable, that makes me question how good the deck is long term.
I think that's a very real thing to be thinking about, too, because those decks do have access to quite a few of those cards, or at least they can find them pretty easily.
Right.
Faithless Looting. Narcomoeba and Prized Amalgams being placed in the graveyard here and onto the battlefield. There's Creeping Chill, so it looks like Aiden Brier is fighting his way back into this game. That's a heck of a Faithless Looting there, folks. 2 Narcomoebas, 2 Prized Amalgams will be coming back onto the battlefield. Tapped, of course, and then a Creeping Chill was found as well. So it looks like the life total when all the dust settles is 9-7 in favor of Aiden, as Bob is going to untap and draw.
Yeah, that was a big turn for Brier, getting a lot of chump blockers plus a Creeping Chill to cushion his life total and also threaten Bob on the way back.
Bob will play Faithless Looting, though. Bloodghast among the cards that will be discarded, along with a maybe Blackleaf Glyphs.
Please make your way to the site event registration stage.
Very unsure what to discard. Going to discard Fatal Push. Now going to replay Faithless Looting. Discard a couple of lands, get back a Wooded Foothills. Everybody's going to attack. There will be various blocks.
But not enough.
But not enough indeed, as Bob Haung is going to win game number 1 here over Aiden Brier. Hollow One up a game here over Dredge. Most notably that Flameblade Adept got very, very large because of those 2 Faithless Lootings.
And that was really impressive there. Bob able to break serve on the draw.
That's tough to do.
Not easy to do. Game 1 against Dredge, not an easy thing to do.
Especially when you start the game. Well, Bob was actually on the play that. What?
No, because I thought Brier had a land when the Burning Inquiry happened.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you were correct about that.
Dredge does not lose a whole lot of game 1s.
Especially when they get to start with a Dredger in their graveyard.
Right, yeah.
Right?
When you give them a little assist.
Well, these players go to their sideboard here. Bob, of course, playing Hollow One. That means I have to imagine he has access to Leyline of the Void.
Oh, yeah, I got to go look up these deck lists on my extremely convenient tablet. Give me one moment here. I'm just living in the future.
How's it feel?
Yeah. It's the common Microsoft commercial. We're living in the future we've always dreamed of, and then it's just a bunch of bad things happening. Hold on. Let me find it.
Common trying to get paid, man, just like everybody else.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay. All right. I got Bob's deck list. Do you have Aiden's?
No, you got. I'll get Aiden's. You got Bob's, you said?
2 Engineer Explosives, 2 Nile Spell Bombs, 3 Leyline of the Void, 2 Ancient Grudges, a couple random removal spells, a Shatter Storm. Yeah, I like the ley lines.
Nice.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. Pay raise coming really soon. Promise you on that.
I'll sell it for my backpack.
This again?
Still unresolved, so yeah.
I feel like you're not. I feel like I'm going to give you the backpack and you're just not going to use it.
That's not true. I would use it. My present backpack is falling apart. It's embarrassing.
It is. Is it as bad as your laptop in the room that you can barely play Magic on?
Well, the laptop broke literally on this trip. That's not fair. And also, it didn't break. You know what broke? My opponents during my 5-0 Modern League run this morning. Shout out to my Tron opponent. Shout out to my Bant Collected Company Night of Autumn opponent, which was not even close to enough. Eldritch Evolution for Night of Autumn, that wasn't good enough.
That's never been good enough.
Shout out to my Serum Powder, Simian Spirit Guy, Chalice of the Void, Eldrazi opponent.
Yeah, that's the thing people are doing right now, too. That wasn't good enough either?
No.
No. There's a Leyline of the Void. You think that'll be good enough?
Against Brier's 5-card hand with 5 lands or whatever?
Yeah.
Probably going to be good.
Brier's sideboard, 4 Leyline of the Void, 2 Ancient Grudge, an Assassin's Trophy, 4 Nature's Claim, 3 Lightning Axe, and a Dark Blast. Life of the Loam is going to get Thought Seized, and then just a bunch of lands in hand there for Aiden. Cathartic Reunion looks like it's going to be played here.
Yeah, Brier needs to hunt 4. How many Assassin's Trophies?
1 trophy and 4 Nature's Claims. Yeah.
Okay. So he's got some draws to it. But it's gonna, even if he finds it, this is going to be a lot of time.
It looks like Nature's Claim in hand now. I mean, it's always possible because it's Leyline that Bob kept a bad hand.
Well, he missed the second land drop. He just passed on turn 2.
Yeah, there's Shriekhorn, and I think Nature's Claim in hand. So here is excuse me, Faithless Looting. Bob will be discarding 2 cards here in just a moment. No land, Nature's Claim, blow up the ley line, and now activate Shriekhorn. Let's play some Magic, folks. Upkeep, Shriekhorn again. Ah, Stinky Inky. Dredge 5. See, this deck can break out of the old ley line.
5 ways to do it post board.
What is this? This is a Cathartic Reunion?
Yep.
We're doing it! Narcomoeba? Dredging like crazy? Get back prized Amalgam? You have 1 land? Are we just donezo?
Not donezo. I mean, Haung can maybe catch up here if he's able to get a hollow one on the battlefield, but...
Tasker's big.
Yeah, Tasker's not bad. Dredge is... honestly, big creatures play against Dredge a lot of the time, so...
Creeping Chill you. 1620, Lightning Helix style. Aiden hasn't used that Shriekhorn counter just yet. Now will. Amalgam in the grave. See what comes next here for Brier. Into the air. Oh, and the Amalgam's going to come in. Here's Life from the Loam. Get back a couple of lands. Yes, please. I have to imagine play a land triggers a Bloodghast, which triggers the Amalgam. Triggers 3 Bloodghasts, excuse me. Which gets back the Amalgams. Bob's on land number 2. Might be too late, though. This is an impressive comeback here by Aiden, who had nothing at the beginning of this game and got thought seized.
Mulligan to 5 into Loam 4 lands and was thought seized. And black ley lined.
Yeah. And now here we are. Goblin Lore. Well, sometimes you got to run good. Make you discard 3 cards. Among them is a Bloodghast. There's a whole lot of copies of Flame Wake Phoenix in hand right now for Bob. Dredge alone.
I think this should right about wrap it up here.
With a Conflagrate in the graveyard, I would imagine that's the case.
4 mana to Loam and Conflagrate.
Everybody beat downs.
Yep.
Fireball you. Aiden and Brier are going to tie things up here where may not have thought that at the start. We certainly didn't when a ley line starts the game and Aiden's on a mulligan to 5, but fortune on his side that game, I would say. But that's why you play the game. So now Bob will be on the play here for game number 3. Aiden looks like he's going to go look at his sideboard here one more time. Has no interest in changing anything. And so you prepare once again for this 3rd and final game. Keep in mind, Todd Anderson, Ryan Overturf, they're coming to the booth next round. Nick Miller's working on that metagame breakdown. And apparently we have a fan of the Harvard. You couldn't tell me the Harvard mascot.
Well, their mascot, I believe, is a bear, but they're called the Harvard Crimson.
Let's see.
A pilgrim.
So apparently it's John Harvard the Pilgrim.
Yeah. Which
is the lamest mascot there's ever been.
That's not true. It's probably in the middle of the pack among the Ivies.
It is the Harvard Crimson. Well done. Who did the Crimson play today?
They're playing in the Ivy League title game against Yale.
Do you know Yale's mascot?
Bulldog, I think.
The fact that you might know this is very surprising to me. The mascot's name is Handsome Dan, which is amazing. And it is a bulldog. Handsome Dan is a bulldog who serves as the mascot of Yale University.
Yeah. And probably has extremely bad politics. If I had to guess about the Yale dog.
Leyline is going to start things off again here for Bob. As we're underway in game number 3. The Crimson versus the Dogs.
Yep.
Make sure to
Yale beating my beloved Tigers in the semifinals yesterday.
which Tigers?
Princeton.
Ah, right. Tough loss.
About 15 minutes from where I grew up. Local college. Spent a lot of time in the town hanging out when I was in high school.
It'll be a cathartic reunion. Gonna try to power through this ley line again, because no answer to it just yet here for Aiden.
Yeah, Aiden really can't start playing until he breaks out of it, but he has a lot of ways to break out. So just gonna draw some cards and try to push through.
Everybody's favorite play, cycle a hollow one.
I forgot I could do that. It's like, what is going on right now? Ah, yeah, okay. Cycle.
Doesn't happen
Yeah,
often.
come up a whole lot.
And now Flame Lake Phoenix into the air. Aiden Brier is down to 15.
A modest draw, but more than acceptable as long as Aiden cannot break out of the ley line of the void.
It's time for Faithless Looting. Draw 2. Discard 2 here. Looks like City of Brass among the cards that will be discarded along with Creeping Chill. Blood Crypt tap, pass the turn back. He's on the hunt for a Nature's Claim. This is Blood Gas. That is Nile Spellbomb. In there for 2 in the air.
Spellbomb is trouble here. Even if you break out of the ley line, which Brier has shown no ability to do, your second wave of graveyard stuff is going to be no good.
Well, Aiden, no answer to the ley line just yet. Copperline Gorge to draw is a time to. Well, I can't say flashback Faithless Looting because he can't do that. It's exiled. It's not even in the graveyard. Ah, yes. Let's convert.
Yep, plan B.
All right, well, plan B failed. Bolt your Stinkweed Imp. Get in for 4. But don't give up. You must try again. Stinky again. Will Stinky stick this time?
Is Bob considering just cycling the Nile Spellbomb? I think he's got at least another ley line in hand. And if you play the second ley line, then you're really covered from that point.
Yep. Here come the Knuckleheads again. Stinky's going to block Flame Lake Phoenix. Stinky exile for good. Aiden down to 7. Bob will sacrifice a fetch land, get a mountain. Play another ley line. Aiden might be in the hard lock now. It was already pretty darn difficult. No, Maelstrom Pulse is hanging out in that 75. Aiden with Golgari Thug. There's a big fish in Gurmag Angler. Bob will use a lot of his graveyard to delve for that. That is a Lightning Axe to take care of the Angler. Follow-up is a Goblin Lore. Bob will draw 4. Discard 3 at random, of course. Hollow 1, Faithless Lootings, the discard. Lootings plural in this instance.
So Haung's hand right now, a land and a third ley line of the void.
That's it. Bob Haung going to win this game and match here over Aiden Brier.